أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد يا رب العالمين. Everyone, I'm happy we're getting to meet again. Today we're continuing our discussion on a verse we started talking about last week. It's very brief but very powerful. And I'm excited to hear what everyone thinks about it. It says, in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. But when it set, he said, I love not those that set. I'll read it again. But when it set, said, I love not those that set. All right. Meetings followed immediately by separation are not worth sorrow and grief. They are not worthy of being longed for. Meetings followed immediately by separation are not worth sorrow and grief. They're not worthy of being longed for. For just as the passing of pleasure is pain, for just as the passing of pleasure is pain, imagine passing of pleasure is also a pain. The works of all the metaphorical lovers, that is, the works of poetry on love, are all cries at the pain arising from imagining this passing. If you were to constrain the spirit of all the works of poetry, from each would flow these grievous cries. Okay, so again, we're talking today and last time as well, we're talking about the temporariness of things and the passing of things. And we're trying to figure out what does that mean to us. And the author is helping us understand this sort of, let's call it a challenge for now, that I'm enjoying a cup of coffee. I know it's gonna finish. Now, I think without reading this text, without understanding the Quranic verses, if I'm just sitting alone with this cup of coffee and I know I really like it, I'm gonna ask myself a lot of questions. Why enjoy something when it's going to end really quickly? When it ends, how should I feel? Is it even a smart thing to feel anything towards the objects? Should I just ignore what I am enjoying? Should I let things pass and not notice? How should I deal with the situation? Now, I'm making a very strong assumption that when I like something, I want it forever. But I think that's something we can either think about or reflect on. So if we will start talking about this, we can start talking about just exactly where it's bolded here, where it's saying, for just as the passing of pleasure is pain, imagining the passing of pleasure is also a pain. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? That's my question.
Can we say passing of pleasure? Now, what a beautiful, for example, meeting with a friend, and he visited, or she visited you, and then you understand that when he or she leaves you, you start feeling some sort of sorrow within your feelings that we are separated. That is for the moment. For example, God forbid, somebody's mother, they love each other, they really enjoy their being together, but let's say mother passes away, it is not possible not to cry. It is past. So the passing of pleasure causes pain. That is what we almost in our practical life experience it. But also what the author emphasizes, imagining the passing of pleasure. Why? Because everybody knows that whatever, even the mother is here, and the mother and daughter, let's say, it's the typical example, they love each other, making or fixing the dinner together in the kitchen, and at the same time talking and talking. Now I finishes. It's a joke, don't worry. So, but then suddenly, in the middle of the pleasure, it occurs to the daughter that she will lose her mother. She will die. And it is also the case for mother. Look, that is beautiful, but one day I will die. Another day, my daughter will die. What's going on? On the spot, all the pleasure turns into pain, just because of the imagination of the transience nature of the creation. I love this. I love that we talk about whatever we have, but when we start imagining that either this thing will disappear or be broken one day, or get old, or die, or I will die. All our enjoyments fall apart. That is what I think the author is emphasizing on the imagination side, which it is very much ingrained in the nature of this life on earth. That is what what I understood. We have to understand, if someone doesn't have the understanding or reality of the creation and the nature of the creator, which kind of creator he is, why are we here? If someone doesn't understand this, doesn't reflect on it, get the message in the reality of transience of this world, but at the same time, in contrast, the feelings, the reality of the human feelings, to get eternal or permanent satisfaction collapses there, or just, how do you say, crashes into each other. And if there is no solution in reality, this person has to suffer. Inevitable, but tries to run away from it, forget about it. But I don't know whether really successfully or not, I don't think it's a success. It will be any hope at all, unless referring to the Creator's infinite, ness, let's call it absoluteness, so that my Creator knows what He is doing, inshallah. Now, that solves the problem. Otherwise, no, to get out of the pain is impossible.
Thank you. Thus, it is due to the pain and tribulations of those meetings, stained with transitoriness, those sorrowful metaphorical loves that my heart weeps and cries through the weeping of I love not those that set. If you want permanence in this transitory world, permanence comes from transitoriness. Find transience with regard to your evil commanding soul, so that you may be enduring. When I read this, I think in the first sentence, as some of you can see, I wrote the question, can my need for permanence be hidden from me? Because I think for such a long time, this idea of permanence was always either mocked or belittled, or it's almost like the unproven fact. It's like you have an illusion, you don't think about it, don't give it your attention, and until I kind of forgot about it. So I asked myself that question, was it just a need I had, but I wasn't really aware of it? And I don't know if anybody shares that question, but just sharing what comes to my mind. But yeah, that's it for me.
What's the question?
For me, the question was, can my need for permanence be hidden from me? Is it possible that that I'm not aware of it? Can I pretend like, oh, I don't need permanence, living in a transient world is okay? I don't know.
Yeah, good question. I think I can cheat myself with it, because the need for permanence is always there, but I can put it under the rug and pretend it's not there. There's always this sense of discomfort if I ignore it. There's some kind of jolt that we may experience, just as a reminder, hey, look under the rug, checking to see clearly. But yeah, I think we can choose to ignore it, but it's there.
Thank you.
In addition, also, we are, as we are living in this world, the familiarity and following the routine of this world, we understand, we may imagine that our feelings are really dying for permanence. But in practical life, if we are careful, in practical life, we always want something more durable, more lasting. So this is practically also this feeling for need, feeling for need of permanence continuously functions within me, but we may, as Fariha said, but just pretend to be saying that there's nothing, forget about it, enjoy your daily life. We may really cheat ourselves. But it is with us, it is not hidden. No one wants to have anything which perishes away immediately.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything else? No. Okay. All right. So the text continues to say, divest yourself of bad morals, the basis of the worship of this world. Be transitory. Sacrifice your goods and property in the way of the true beloved. See the ends of beings, which point to non-existence. For the way leading to permanence in this world starts from transitoriness. See the ends of beings, which point to non-existence. For the way leading to permanence in this world starts from transitoriness. Anything here? Any questions or reflections?
It is very interesting, really fine point, very fine point. If we did not experience the transitoriness and feel the transitoriness of this life on earth, that we are getting aging and we know at the end we will die. If we didn't know that, we wouldn't know that permanence exists. We will think that this world is, that's it. There's nothing more. And what am I expecting? Here I am. Nothing is transient. So we have to be happy. We have to learn how to love the nature of this world as it is transient. We shouldn't complain about it, because that is the only way to understand what am I supposed to do in this world. Also, this the second line, sacrifice your goods and property in the way of true beloved. It means permanent beloved. What does it mean? I understood that goods, goods and property, not necessarily the money-wise or material property, are human properties, our feelings. Check yourself, examine your feelings, and you know that the feelings want something better, always better, and something more durable. Always that. What does it mean? Use it. And rather than losing yourself in buying a more durable gadgets, rather than say, I mean, that is, again, transitory. Try to understand that, why am I doing this? Why am I preferring it? And say, I want permanent, but there is no really permanence in this world. Why do you think I have this? What is the reason of being created with this sense? I have to sacrifice it. It means, I am not created to get the best product in this world. Yeah, it may be for my bodily needs, all right. I mean, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't choose the best product. That is the way we have to transfer this feeling and use it, sacrifice it, use it for the permanent life. seek for it. But I want the permanent satisfaction. Where can I find it? So ask this, work for it. So use your mind for this purpose, your consciousness for this purpose. All feelings that you don't want, for example, you want everything. I want everything to be the most attractive, most beautiful one. But this beauty will disappear. Most successful profession, yes, this successful profession will come to an end, inevitable. But this feeling always forces me to look the original permanence there, pointing to the permanence there. Sacrifice, it doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your house and get it destroyed or something. No, it is obvious. Use it as a means of finding out where we can find the eternity or permanence. But this is thanks to the transitory nature of this world. Rather than complaining, we have to love it. I love this world being transient. If one can say this, really, it is a great success. Inshallah, we can try. That's what we are learning here. Inshallah.
Thank you. When you were talking, I did a little I was trying to summarize what you were saying. So I told myself, okay, so first thing, I noticed that things are transient. I noticed that I don't like it. And then I see that, okay, it's telling me that there's somewhere else, or there is permanence, there must be. And then I accept, and then I tell myself, oh, then it's okay for it to be transient. So it's almost like I have to engage with the transience of the world and be honest that I don't like it. And then ask myself, well, okay, well, what is this telling me? Or what's the wisdom in transience? And then notice that it's pointing to impermanence. And then I say, okay, good. Now, transience and permanence, they're both good. Okay. The human mind, which plunges into causes, is bewildered at the upheavals or violent shaking of the passing of the world, and laments despairingly, while the conscience, which desires true existence, severs the connection with metaphorical beloveds and transient beings through crying like Abraham. I love not those that set, and it binds itself to the truly existent one, an eternal beloved. So here, I guess the author is presenting two things about the human. One, his mind, which is always thinking of the causes and of the passing of the world, which will lead him to despair, while the conscience, which desires true existence and notices that the meaning of I love not those that set. I have a question. I'm glad this word is underlined because I wanted to ask, what does that mean, or what can I think of when I see this word? And my second question was, it's as if the author is saying one is true and the other is false. Like that the human mind is always consumed by the passing of this world, which is through thinking of the causes, through only being consumed by the causes, that's false. While how the conscience is desiring true existence, that's true. This is what I felt like the paragraph is saying. And then I asked myself, well, what's my proof for that? Or how can I think of it as one is true and the other is false? I hope I made sense.
As far as I understand from your question, which is really important to understand how mind is described here, as it plunges into causes. Because we say, I am ill, because I got cold, or I didn't have good nourishment. I am getting old, because my cells are, in their own being, they really, as they come to functioning, they start also aging. That's what we hear from biologists. Well, I don't know if that's real or not, but I'm getting old. That's reality. So I say, okay, this is inevitable. That's it. I have to, my cells are functioning in this world, so forget about it. Do you understand? I think, does it make sense? So the true permanence consciousness us. So we have to come back and question ourselves within ourselves with our feelings. Are you happy with this? I mean, saying that this is transient, I'm going to die, inevitable. Why should I bother about it? There is no solution, according to mind. Because in the causal world, mind cannot find solution. There is no solution in the causal world. But consciousness says, look, whoever created me with the need for permanence must mean something. Where did I get this feeling? This is a famous phrase, I keep using it. Always we have to question this phrase, whatever it is. But I don't want my mother to be in hospital, or I don't want these people to suffer. Correct. Yeah, correct. How about questioning why I am giving this sense? Consciousness comes there and says that, what is the reason for not having permanence here? But I want permanence. What does it mean? I think these are practical, just practical. So we have to really, theoretically, we learn from the very beginning, when we started this text to read, theoretically, we learned from the guidance of the Quran that human beings do not like transience. Okay, period. Why do we bother about talking about it months, if you like? I think it has been 2 months we started this section. So why? Why do we bother about it? Practically, we are not really theory. We cannot really live in theory. We have to put it into practice. So practical examples and different perspectives of this matter must be discussed, inshallah.
Thank you. Makes sense to me. Oh, my ignorant soul. Know that the world and its beings are certainly ephemeral or passing, but you may find a way leading to permanence in each ephemeral thing, and may see two flashes, two mysteries of the manifestations of the undying beloved's beauty. Wow. Yes, it is within the bounty that the bestowal is to be seen, and the favor of the most merciful perceived. If you pass from bounty to bestowal, you will find the bestower. Also, each work of the eternally besought one makes known the all-glorious Maker's names like a missive. If you pass from the decoration to the meaning, you will find the one signified by way of his names. Since you can find the kernel, the essence of these ephemeral beings, obtain it. Then without pity, you can throw away their meaningless shells and externals onto the flood of ephemerality. I like how the author is stressing this particular fact. If you pass from bounty to bestowal, you will find the bestower. I honestly had to look up the word bestowal. Like, what does it mean to be bestowed something? And then I read that it means it's something originally owned by someone else, but given to you. And it gives an entire different meaning to things. Like, it's not it felt just so beautiful to recognize that everything is given to me while it's being owned by someone else. It's almost like, Radwa, I want you to have something, here it is. I don't know what else to say. It's too beautiful to talk about.
So that is the message. But practically speaking, we see the bounty and say, just if we are religious, use a religious language and say, Alhamdulillah, God gave us this, Allah gave us this. Muslims say, the Christians say, that is Almighty's blessing. These are beautiful, correct, but this is just jumping. But the author says, no, your mind goes through cause and effect. So you say what you have it, especially if you are religious, you say it is halal. I didn't steal it, I didn't harm anybody. So it was my labor, it was my money, and I deserved it, got it. But the mind thinks in this way. But of course, he says, that is what I bought it. And the greengrocer, this greengrocer in our street or in our neighborhood, he's a nice man. He sells the fresh ones. Talk about this. But don't jump to the bestower, but go to the bestowal, the way it is presented to you. Now, when you have it, you have to think, am I really claiming the ownership of this because I paid for it, but I didn't create it? Now go back, even the farmer did not create it. So this action of bestowing is needed to be discovered. No, it is not us. It is nothing. Nature cannot design this. Nature, it means just matter, unconscious, ignorant matter. But I cannot, what is going on here? When you understand that the process of bestowing to you needs a source of existence, means the creator of the bestower takes you there and takes you out of your mind's concern, cause and effect relationship. These processes are important so that we have to apply it in our life. When I go beyond the cause and effect relationship, because there is no creator in this world of this bounty, because I understood and I analyzed the process of bestowing. So I understand bestower and start questioning. What is this? Who is that? Of course, we have to be careful not to jump to the conclusion because of the cultural information. Oh, God, Allah. What does it mean? How can you really live with this understanding? Stand by this understanding and satisfy yourself. Are you, or I have to ask to myself, are you experiencing, Ali, the very process of this, through the very process of bestowing, the bestower, the one who is the source of existence of this bounty, is in connection with you, just letting you know, who he is, how he takes care of you, how he really knows you, your feelings, decorated, everything, taste, whatever you need, it is there. There is a direct connection between you and the creator of the bestower. Anne wrote something. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne wrote, if you pass from the decoration to the meaning, you will find the one. This is a beautiful way of understanding the passage. Look for the kernel in the ephemeral. Are you saying that these are phrases that mean something to you, or you like them?
Yeah, I underlined them. I have the passage printed out and I underlined them because the everything is a decoration if you think about it. But behind that decoration is a meaning. The decoration is transitory and the meaning is ephemeral. So if you bypass just the decoration, then you can find the one signified by his names. I don't know, that really helps me understand this passage because everybody seems to focus on the decoration. Oh, the materiality, like I want this job, I want this promotion, I want this house, I want this car, I want my kids to go to this college. And you just focus on just the decoration and not on the meaning at all. So for me, it's just really helpful to understand the passage that in that in that decoration, you find meaning, and that's what you need to look at. That's the kernel. And then once you get the kernel, you can throw away the shell. It's a beautiful metaphor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Among beings, there is no work which is not a most meaningful embodied word and does not cause to be read numerous of the glorious Maker's names. Since beings are words, words of power, read their meanings and place them in your heart. Since beings are words, words of power, read their meanings and place them in your heart. Fearlessly cast words without meaning onto the winds of transience. Do not concern yourself looking behind them, needlessly occupying yourself. Anything here?
The last word, don't concern yourself looking behind them, needlessly occupying yourself. Oh, I had a beautiful dress, but it is torn, or I don't know, it became dirty or out of fashion. If you just lost the concerns in the matter itself, what is the, only what you have obtained in this world, really, you cannot get the satisfaction. You can be slaves of many things in this world. If I had this one, if my something was in this color, if I had the another profession, my life will be more perfect. It doesn't mean, everyone understands that, knowing that this is the worldly life and body needs are there, bodily needs are there. I am aware of it, but these are bodily needs. My conscience, my spirit, my feelings need much beyond these bodily needs. And where can I find it? Of course, consciousness can find it when it is properly used. Not necessarily that I'm thinking of improving my life in this world, only getting the best profession, only, or getting the best possible lifestyle, only. Then, what I see in this world, inevitably, I will be carried away by fashion of the society. That's reality. And I will be slaves of the fashion makers, or those people who really shape the social minds of the people through social media. I can be slave of them, or I can be, if you like, slave of the creator, my creator, absolute one. What can be better than being belonged to the creator of this universe, creator of your feelings? That's it, but it needs really concentration, seriousness, inshallah.
Thank you. Since the chain of thought of the worldly mind, which worships externals and whose capital consists of objective knowledge, leads to nothingness and non-existence. It cries out despairingly in its bewilderment and frustration. I'm just making a mental note of the worldly mind and the mind we spoke of earlier, the one plunged into causes and not finding a solution. It seeks a true path leading to reality. Since the spirit has withdrawn from those that set and the ephemeral, and the heart has given up its metaphorical beloveds, and the conscience too has turned its face from transitory beings, you too, my wretched soul, attract the assistance of I love not those that set, like Abraham, and be saved. I really like this last sentence. It says a lot. Since the spirit has withdrawn from those that set, it's almost like saying, first of all, I have to recognize that I'm a spiritual being, and therefore, here the author is suggesting that the spirit does not like the ephemeral, so it withdraws from those that set. And the heart has given up its metaphorical beloveds. So the heart needs to love, so it's always going to make up beloveds. And the conscience too has turned its face from transitory beings. So earlier we talked about this, and that I cannot accept, or I do not like the transitory. So therefore, I need help from the verse, like the verse that says, I love not those that set. That's, I feel like it's saying much more than what I just said. So if you have any reflections, go ahead. Okay. All right. See how well Maulana Jami, I hope I'm saying it correctly, expressed it, whose nature was kneaded with love and who was intoxicated with the cup of love. That is, one, want only one. The rest are not worth wanting. Two, call one. The others will not come to your assistance. Three, seek one. The rest are not worth it. Four, see one. The others are not seen all the time. They hide themselves behind the veil of ephemerality. Five, say one. Five, know one. Knowledge other than that which assists knowledge of him is without benefit. Six, say one. Words not concerning him may be considered meaningless. It's a great summary. It's saying a lot, but it's also very straightforward. Yeah. Anything here? How does this make you feel? What do you think about it? What do you understand about it? Okay. We'll see what the author likes about it. Yes, Jami, you spoke the truth absolutely. The true beloved, the true sought one, the true desired one, the true object of worship is he alone. For in a mighty circle, for the mentioning of the divine names, this world together with all its beings and their different tongues and various songs declares, there is no God but he. Together they testify to divine unity and binding the wound caused by I love not those that set, point to an undying beloved in place of all the metaphorical beloveds, attachment to whom has been severed. All right, I see a comment. Let me read it first. Honestly, I did not find this part of the passage as helpful as the previous part we talked about today. Which part? You mean the almost poem? Or the poem?
The part where we started, I guess, yes, it is within the bounty that the bestowal is to be seen and the favor of the most merciful perceived. If you pass from bounty to bestowal, starting with that part down to attract the assistance of I love not those that set like Abraham and be saved. I just didn't find it as it was more abstract. I didn't really see it as clearly the message. I didn't see it as clearly as the rest of the passage that I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
No, it just seems too abstract. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Would anyone like to share anything about that? Thank you. Thank you for that. I mean, I totally get it. I think maybe rereading it again, or maybe spending time, because like you pointed out about the decoration to the meaning, just spending time to think about it or reflect on it.
When you come go down and this Mevlana Jami is saying,
yeah.
So now here's that's it. Now, whose nature Mevlana Jami, the poet, let's say, wrote it in Persian, whose nature was kneaded with love, so, and who was intoxicated with the cup of love. In fact, the author is teaching us here, those people who are Sufi, following the Sufi tradition, are directly going into the conclusion and experiencing what they feel within themselves. So they don't go through, as we previously read today, going through what reasoning, the mind, how the mind works, how practical life works, and then how we come to the conclusion we studied, as Anne said. That was really, but this is, we have to know that in Islamic tradition, beautiful Sufi tradition also, but they speak directly. Directly, if you know, I want only one, but how did you come to this point? You missed a step, man, as if the author is saying. And seek one, but directly coming, letting the conscience speak, human spirit speak, letting the human spirit speak directly. But in this world, I am in this body. I have to go through mind that I am experiencing practically in this world and seeing that, look, because of the sun, these plants are growing. So I have to be thankful to the sun. But what will happen? Sun cannot continue to do that. Oh God, I am helpless. They understand. So yes, their conclusions are beautiful, but in our reality, we have to go according to the reality of this creation that we are experiencing in this world. Although the conclusions are really combining together on really coming to the converging in the same point, yes, it is Sufism, correct, Anne. Same point at the end, but the process is different. That's what we are learning. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I was just reading the comments. Thank you for that. I'm glad it helps. All right. I feel like this is a good place to stop. And we'll start from here next week, inshallah. Okay. All right. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.